In this video, I wanted to explain a little bit about what I'm going to be doing as I start a cut for the next 10 to 12 weeks. Now, like so many people want to get in shape for summer, get leaner, and look and feel their best and their most confident, I'm exactly the same. I'm one of those people as well. So over the next 10 to 12 weeks, I'm gonna be getting leaner. So for the past seven and a half months-ish, I've been in a gaining phase, which has been great. I've had a lot of flexibility. I've really enjoyed my training. My strength's gone up. But alongside that, a little bit of body fat's come on as well. And we have to expect that when we're in a gaining phase. That's part and parcel of what a gaining phase is going to be. That's not to say it's any excuse to just absolutely smash loads of food in and just put on a load of body fat and call it muscle and call it bulking. Like, there's been method to the madness. I haven't gone absolutely nuts, but my calories have been higher. And like a lot of people, my job is office-based. My job is desk-based. I am spent most of my time here every single week. So my expenditure's been pretty low. And what I want to sort of explain in this video is exactly what I'm going to be doing, the steps that I'm going to be taking. I'm not going to be doing anything outrageous over the next 10 to 12 weeks. I'm not going to be doing some sort of new diet. I'm not going to be doing something that I wouldn't give any of my clients, okay? Obviously everyone's different, but I just wanted to show that I'm going to keep it simple myself. And these are the steps that I'm going to be taking to drop body fat over the next 10 to 12 weeks. Now, I'm not going to put a number on that. What I try and do and what I implement with my clients is we aim to lose around about a pound of body fat or a pound of body weight per week, which is a really good standpoint. And you imagine that compounds over 10, 16 weeks, 20 weeks. That's a lot that's going to come off, but I'm doing mine in quite a short space of time. I prefer to diet quite aggressively. I'm all about sustainable results. And with my clients, I'll probably, depending on who they are, I might prolong that a little bit and utilize diet breaks. But for myself, what I like to do is get stuck into a diet and then get out of it. So 10 to 12 weeks, going to go pretty aggressive, but that's not meaning I'm just going to slash my calories, take 1,000 to 1,500 off straight away come Monday morning. But my calories have been relatively high for the last few months. So I'm going to be taking them down by about 300 to 400 for the first week of my dieting phase. I'm going to be training 5 times a week. That's just what I like. It's more of a mental thing for me. It's a good break from work. It's what I enjoy. So I'm going to be training 5 times a week with weights. And then my calories are going to be coming down by 300 to 400 for the first week. Now, that's just to get used to dieting. That's just to get into the swing of things as such. That's subject to change over the next sort of few weeks, but I'm not just going to slash calories and just make myself starving. And the same with expenditure. So as I said, I spend a lot of my time at this desk without moving. Sometimes my steps I've been lucky to hit 2,000 steps a day sometimes, which I know isn't great. But because it's been sometimes at 2,000, 3,000 steps, I'm not all of a sudden just going to start doing 12,000 steps a day, 14,000 steps a day. There's a time and a place, but I don't want to go in too hard, too quick. And a lot of people tend to do that when they want to drop body fat. They'll slash their calories by a lot. They will then smash their steps in and do loads and loads of cardio and then wonder why in a few weeks they feel like shit, wonder why they have no energy, no motivation to train. So it's about creating something that's going to be sustainable and that you can adhere to. So for me, it's going to be training 5 times a week. My step target initially is going to be 8,000. As I say, that's subject to change and that will increase over time, but I'm going to be doing 8,000 steps a day. That's going to be a non-negotiable, which means I'm going to get it done every single day, regardless of how I feel and regardless of whatever else is going on in my life. I will make sure I get them done. The next thing is going to be cardio. Now, cardio I haven't really been doing for the past 6 months. I usually get my cardio in through football, so I was training midweek and then having a game, like 90-minute game at the weekend. But due to injury, due to moving abroad, I haven't been doing any cardio really, and that's a bit alien to me. So I'm going to be introducing 2 sessions of cardio. I'm still injured, so I'm not playing football at the moment, but I'll be getting something in, whether that's, I'm definitely going to be doing the watt bike, because that's just going to help my ankle, which is what's injured at the moment. And I'm probably going to be getting, definitely going to be getting on the Stairmaster. I love the Stairmaster. It's a love-hate relationship, but bang for your buck, Stairmaster's incredible. So 5 sessions a week, a moderate deficit, around about maintenance at the moment, but we'll be slipping into a deficit. And 2 sessions of cardio a week. That will increase again, and I'll probably go up to maximum 4 times a week. We don't want to be doing 5 sessions of weights, 5 sessions of cardio, 12 to 15,000 steps a day. I'm just going to feel wrecked after that. The next thing that I'm going to be focusing on that's so important is my sleep and recovery. Hence, again, why I'm not going a million miles an hour. So I'm going to be making sure that I'm getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. Again, that's another non-negotiable. My rest and recovery is so important. Like, depending on how hard you push yourself in the gym, and I always stress to my clients, I want them to be pushing hard. That's going to look different for different people. And if you're relatively new to the gym, it's hard to gauge how hard to push yourself. And not many people know what failure is. There's a time and a place to go to failure. And I'm at a stage like with my training where I tend to push myself close to failure a lot of the time, which means my rest and recovery needs to be of a high priority. If you don't know what training to failure looks like, then it's definitely worth giving it a go. And that means with a gun to your head, you can only ever get 1 more rep out, or not even any more reps out. So that's called reps in reserve. And I tend to train pretty hard and use that as a gauge of how hard I'm training, making sure there's intensity there, intent there, and the execution of every exercise, making sure I'm getting the most out of every exercise. So that's the other thing that I'm going to be massively focusing on. Now then, alongside my nutrition is going to be my water intake, which I'm going to keep up really, really high. I have on me at all times this bottle here that's 1.5 litres, and I have minimum 2 of these a day. It's usually more than that. So water, very, very important. The next thing is going to be my supplements that I'll be using alongside my nutrition. This has stayed the same for so long. There's only been one change, and I'll explain that in a second. The supplements that I use, omega-3, protein and creatine monohydrate. I don't have anything else. So supplement if you're deficient in something. For me, as a vegetarian, I don't get much omega-3 in, so that's what I supplement with. Protein powder helps me hit my protein goals, so you don't need it, but for convenience, if you're deficient in protein, you get to the end of the day and you've had loads of food, but you haven't hit anywhere near your protein target, then whey protein's definitely a way forward. You don't need anything fancy, you don't need like a diet whey, you don't need mass gainers, things like that. Just get a whey protein that you like the taste of. There's nothing worse than having a protein powder that tastes like shit, and a lot of them do. Trust me, I started off in the gym having unflavored protein powder because someone told me that having flavored protein powder had really bad sugar in it or something like that just made it bad. So I forced unflavored protein powder down my neck, and if you haven't had it, it just tastes like cheese. It's disgusting. So I have whey protein and then creatine monohydrate, the most scientifically researched supplement out there. Even if you're not training, for cognitive function, it's been shown to have real big benefits. But in the gym setting, creatine monohydrate is so useful for power, recovery, and pushing you through and getting you to that point of near failure. So you can expect a strength increase as well. They are the supplements that I take. Now, when I was in the UK, I was definitely supplementing with vitamin D. Luckily, where I am now, I get a lot of that. So making sure that I'm out getting vitamin D every day as well, which will help when I have steps. So I get 2 in 1. And that's essentially it. There's nothing fancy about it. The important thing is, and it's the same for me, to trust the process, to put the hard work in, to know that these results aren't going to come overnight. But if I tick off these things that I'm setting out, day in, day out, week in, week out, that's going to compound into monthly big wins, then I know in 8 weeks' time, 10 weeks' time, 12 weeks' time, I'm going to be where I want to be. It's just about doing it. It's about doing the reps. That sounds so cliche, but that's all it is. It is about doing the reps, and that's not necessarily in the gym. It's about doing the reps with your nutrition, doing the reps with your steps, with your water intake, with your sleep. They're simple things that we need to master in order to get a good result. People often think that there's something that we need to do that you're not doing now, something that's mad that we need to do to get in great shape. It's not, it's the basics. Now with my nutrition, which I'll touch on quickly, I'm not gonna be doing something completely drastic here either, like a huge change. Again, a lot of people when they start on a fat loss journey, they think they need a complete overhaul of their diet. Now some people do, as I say, everyone's different, but if your diet is okay now, you're not going to really need to change a lot. You just need to change it to better suit your goals and stick to it. For a lot of people, that's going to be protein intake. But for me, where I'm pretty good with all of that, and I know what I like. I already have a diet. What I'm gonna be doing is just having the same sort of foods, but just a little bit less. So as an example, at the moment, I have porridge every morning with a scoop of protein powder with some berries in and a bit of Biscoff spread because it's banging. I'm gonna be keeping that the same. I'm just gonna decrease the amount of oats that I'm having initially. And then there might be a time and a place where I take the Biscoff spread out, but I'm gonna be keeping that the same and just having slightly less of it. And then I'll be doing the same for my lunch and my dinner as well. So I'm someone of routine. You don't have to do this, but everyone sort of has a similar amount of meals and similar foods that they have week in, week out. We tend to cycle around 14 different meals, and that's not many really. And people are always after like meal plans and different recipes. It's not very often you actually do them in the real life. So in real life. So you already have the meals that you have. All I'm gonna be doing is keeping things pretty the same. Routine is so key for me. It's so key to get amazing results as well. I'm just gonna be switching out sauces here and there, switching out some pastas, rice, potatoes, things like that, to keep it a little bit interesting. And then just being smart around it and planning ahead. Like, I'm like everyone else. I'm gonna be traveling over these next 10 to 12 weeks a couple of times. I know I've got a couple of events in the diary already, especially in the first week of my dieting phase. I've got a big brunch that's happening midweek. Not ideal, but I will plan around it and I will take it into account. And that's what it's all about. It's about planning, it's about preparation, and it's about executing. And so long as you do those things to the best of your ability, you're gonna get results. And I'm gonna be documenting this. I'm gonna be documenting everything that I do on my socials. I'm gonna probably make some more videos like this that hopefully people find useful and showing you exactly what I'm doing. And it's probably a form of accountability for me as well. But in the next 10 to 12 weeks, I'm gonna get lean. That's where I feel most confident, where I feel most comfortable. It's where, summer's coming, there's gonna be less clothes, and that's just how I like to look and feel. Not everyone is the same, but if you feel the same as me, just know that there are usually 5 things that you need to focus on to get incredible results. That's gonna be your training, your nutrition, your sleep and recovery, your water intake, and your steps. Simple, not necessarily easy, but very, very simple. I hope that helps. If you ever have any questions, or if you have any questions on this video or any topics surrounding it, drop me a DM on Instagram. I'm always happy to help. I love having a chat, meeting new people, so there's no pressure. If you wanted to book in a call with me, there'll be a link in the description on this video. Again, no obligation to work with me, but you will find the call helpful regardless, and I can roadmap exactly how we get our clients results. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.